a bit more him then, what we might see. Yeah, now we realise that there's a dog here, then we're going to get a bit more of this type of behaviour. Okay. We'll do some other bits first, and maybe at some point throughout the session, depending on how we're going, I might get my dog out and I'll just put him off to the side over there. So we have got a distraction around. So then we can talk a bit more about what we see and how we might have to deal with that as well. Okay. Passes away this way. Okay, so when it comes to a dog reacting, it's stressful, yeah? Stressful for them, that's why he's reacting. Stressful for us holding the lead. But me not doing anything in particular and just leaving you to do that, I'm doing a disservice to you. I'm not helping you out at all. So I'm not saying now. Obviously, I've took the lead. If you've seen, then I give him a bit of a pop through it. Again, I've not done it too harsh, and I know that you're still doing your little whining, but it's a bit better now than it was 2 seconds ago. Like the barking coming a lot more. Like if I can communicate with it, good. That's also important. It's not just kind of tell you off to tell you that you're doing something wrong. I need to be able to praise you as well when you're doing something right. So see, at the minute, he's not doing what he was doing a minute ago. He's not pulling back in too much. He's just having a look around still, which I don't mind. There's another dog here. It's a big deal for you. I don't mind, but just do it like this, because this is better. You're not as stressed. I'm not, don't get me wrong, you are a little bit still, but you're not like you was a minute ago. It's not getting too overwhelming. So if you go silent for a second, I'll be all over you, Kate. I'll be, yeah, good, I like it. Like, this is actually what I want from you. Don't worry about what's going on elsewhere. Just worry about like what we're doing together, because us going on our walk that's where the spotlight should be. Everything else in our environment should be to the background, because we're the main characters. We've got the spotlight on us. Okay, so soon as I took the lead, I didn't do anything in particular other than just pop it. But I probably popped it just a little bit more than probably than you would have, or you've done it. But again, you've not seen me really have to rag you on, because that's not what I want to do. I just want to be able to communicate with you and get my point across. Like, I don't want you to do that. Good.
So I think if he saw dogs, if someone's walking up the road and saw the dog.
Yeah. A big deal.
Yeah, he's much more vocal.
Yeah.
He's lunging, and so he obviously knows your dog's there.
Yeah.
To smell and hear him.
Yeah.
So he's anxious, isn't he?
Yeah. Because
the dog in the vicinity is gone.
Because even like now, even though he knows my dog's there, he'll be able to smell him. He's not seen him yet, so that's why he's going to get anxious. Yeah, he's going to get anxious about it, because I'm scared. I'm panicking. I don't know what's going to happen. But with a dog that's reactive, right? What I don't want to do is I don't want to run away from the problem, but I also don't want to force you to be pushed into the problem. But I think where we make real progress is where we can be here, feel what we feel, and learn how to overcome it. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, what we do as people, we're walking down a street at night time. There's a dark alleyway, and all of a sudden, someone pops out of it, and we wasn't aware that they're going to be there. It might make us literally jump out of our skin, or we might just go, oh, and then have a bit of a laugh about it. But what we did in that moment is we spiked emotionally. Whatever emotion it was we felt in that moment, we spiked, but then we just came back down, because we know how to regulate our own emotion when we feel something, which that's what a dog can't really do without being able to practice that. So that's what we're going to do in our sessions as well, is we're going to let you learn how to do it yourself. Because you see, when let's just say my dog was out now and he was over there, and I get you're going to probably be really kicking off about it. Depending on how that goes, if it was going on and it was dragging on for far too long, then I might have to intervene, because it's stressful for you and I don't want to put you through loads of stress. But if it lasted for a couple of minutes and you was kicking off, but then you realise that, look, what am I doing this for? It makes you realise that I'm acting a bit of a fool here, because again, look, we're not running away, but we're not going closer. And what that dog's doing is not coming to put us under pressure. So by just standing around and being able to observe, it should help us be able to just have a calm down. And when you then calm down, you'll start thinking a bit better. And then I'll be able to get some points across. Simple things like when your head's in a better place, when I say sit, you'll be able to sit. When I say come this way with me, you'll be able to come that way with me because your head's in a better place. But when you're getting overwhelmed, you're not thinking straight. Even simple things, you're not going to be able to listen. Take the treats, you're not going to be able to do that in that moment. So we'll see in a bit what happens. Hopefully it's calmed down a little bit now to go back to what we was doing in terms of trying to help you with the walking. This lead that you've got on here, I'll pass you the lead back so you can do it yourself. But I just want you to take this part off the nose, and I just want you to have the collar area on.
Do you want me just to put the other lead
No,
on?
no, it's fine. If you slip that one off, it would just become a normal slip lead then, won't it? Instead of a like a figure of eight sort of thing. So I'll pass you the lead back so you can do that. I'll just grab a drink a second while you do it. Just pass us pass us the lead again. So just in that, I just want to see what that needs. So we've put the stopper down there. If I want to communicate, what I need it to be able to do is I need to be able for the pressure to go on and off.
Right.
You see there on that side where the slip, it goes on, off. That's what I need it to be able to do, okay?
Right, okay.
This type of lead in particular, when he starts kicking off, the way that this rope and that stopper is, we might find that we need to change it. Not for a different type. So we're still going to go with like a slip lead idea, but maybe just not this one.
Right.
I've got another one in there, which we might try and use that. The only reason I'm saying that is because that stopper, the more, if you was to pull and kick off and I have to try and pop and communicate with you, that stopper might find it all the way down to the bottom. And then when I'm trying to communicate, put the pressure on and off, if it's already down, it's not got no give in it. So it's like this. So I'll just do it here. But I'll do it down the bottom, it's got another end there on it. So if the stopper was, let me just adjust it there. So let's say collar on now round the dog's neck. If we've put that further down here, you can see there I've still got some give in it. But if I was to put that, or if we've been pop, and because you've been pulling, what that's done is it's found itself going down. It's gone tighter now. So let's say it's there, like that's not going to cut off my circulation. I can get my fingers under that. But what me as the handler, what I've not got now is I've got no give in it. So what this is like being attached to now is a lead attached to a flat collar, where all I'm going to end up doing is pulling you around. I'm not really being able to slip the pressure on and off. So we'll have a look what that looks like if this lead does that. If it does, we'll use a different one, because that one, the stopper on that one will be better. It will stay in place where we want it to stay. And then we'll have a look what that looks like from there. So I'll just pass you the lead back a second as well. So when you was walking round, what happened was it is like you use the lead to guide him. So I'll just do it here. I'll do it this way so you can see what I mean. So let's say we was walking along then, and then when it got to a point where you wanted to turn, what you did was this. So you walking on your left hand side, yeah? So he's on your left. When you come to a turning point, you turned like this, which then I'm not saying you dragged him, but you kind of pulled him round the corner, okay? And then when he goes, I'm going to move out forward of you, and then you use the lead and obviously like try to pull it back. So what we're doing in our guidance as the handler is we're using the lead to tell you, we're going to communicate to you and give you change of directions just through the lead. So what I mean by that, look, if I had a rope attached to me, and just in my own head, I said, I'm going over here, and you didn't want me to, you'd pull the lead like that to stop me, and you'd pull me to this direction. But I'd only know that you wanted me to come over there because I felt the lead do this. So then I just crack on and I go this way. And then when I go over here and you don't want me to go here, again, you could pull the lead like that. And I feel that, and now I come over here. But if we teach a dog that only through the way we guide through the lead, that's the way we're going to direct you around, then that's where we get a lot of that disjointment in the way that we walk together. Because if you're just going to pull me around, I don't need to look at you because I could just look here and you pull me there, and I look there and you pull me there. But no, so if we was gonna, this is only a slight little change that I want you to try in a second. But where you was getting to a turning point and turning away from him like this and bringing him around, what I want to see if you can do is I'll do it facing you. So if he's here, when you get to a turning point, I want you to turn across him. I want you to use your body to do it because, and we'll rep that a few times because if you start to use your body to give the directions out, what you would have to do is start just checking with you a little bit more. So what I don't expect for a dog is to walk around constantly like this, looking up, because that's just not unnatural. It's not going to happen. But what I want my dog to be able to do is I want them to walk around, look around, check up. Let's let that police car go past a second. So I want my dog to be able to have a look around, check up, look around, check up. Every now and again, check up. If I can see that from you, I know you paying attention. I know that you're aware that I'm on the other side of that lead. At the minute where we pull around, it's like, I don't need to look at you. Why would I pay attention? Because you'll just tell me this way that we'll move. So I just want you to set off in a second like this. I'm not going to tell you anything else right now other than just when you get to a turning point, use your space that you've got here. And when you get to a turning point, try to not use the lead to pull back to then shoot in front. All I want you to do is get to a turning point, and I want you to use the full space like that to turn around and come on this track here. What I don't want you to do is try and do it dead sharp. So I don't want you to like be here in the middle, get to here and then go and just spin on the spot, because that will come with pressure on the lead to then spin round. So let's get moving now, just so you can get into the swing of moving. But I want you to just, okay, that's fine. Right, cut across him now. There we go. Let's go again. So he's still obviously hyped up. I know he knows that there's the dog there still. Let's turn again. Okay, so just 1 second. On this type of lead, a slip lead, I missed this a second ago. So I've just clocked it now. On a slip lead, did you know that for the side that you want the dog to walk on, do you know that it needs to go on for a particular side? So the way that you've got it on now is for the right hand side. You're walking him on the left and it's on the right. So what, yeah, I'll hold this part, you swap that over. I'll show you what I mean in a second. So you see now that black tape that's on the other side of the rope there.
Oh, that needs
yeah.
to be on the
So
right
that
side.
now, with it being on your left leg is there. That is next to your left leg.
Right, okay.
Obviously, a second ago that was opposite side.
Yeah.
The only thing that can happen like that is it's hard to sort of simulate here. But oh, actually, we've got the other end there, haven't we? So let's say that's on the, now it should be that way, but that way around, right? That's the way you had it. What can happen when we want to slip this in and out? I'll obviously simulate this happening here now. But if I slip that now, and then I go to slip it back out, what could happen is that could snag like that, and it won't release. So it ends up being tighter, which when you feel that for a prolonged period of time, you're going to try to pull away from it, but you're not realizing that by not pulling away and just dropping back in. Yeah, so it's like, if you want like fight or flight in it. So if now someone just went like that around your neck, you're going to have to try and either try to run away from the problem or try and fight that problem away. So from your point of view, when that part happens, if that gets snagged on the release, it's not going to release, it's going to stay tight, which is building you up more. So now it's on that way round, right? I'll just give you a little demonstration a second, what I mean. So let me just make this a little bit shorter. So I'm going to keep repping it. I'll do a few more reps. You'll probably see in my left hand that now and again I'm just going tap, tap, tap. So that's when I want a certain position to happen here. Yeah, like I said before, I'm quite strict in the sense that I want a particular thing to happen. So that's what I'm trying to stick to. As soon as I feel you're going to go past that point where I start to feel a bit of pressure in the lead, I'm already giving it that little tap there, because you can see at the bottom where that pressure there, it goes on and off. Yeah. And at this turning point, I'm going to try, if I can, to not let that pressure slip into the turn. I want there to be no pressure and for me to try and get my body across. When you, like at the minute, that will slip away in a second. But for now, it does feel as though there's a bit of a, you like put the brake on and then turn. Excuse me. So I keep repping it a little bit more.
You're doing it a bit more at the turn then?
Yeah, so I'm trying to get my body across, but obviously he's trying to be a bit pulley, he's trying to break the line, if you want. If I'm saying I'm sticking to a line where I want you to be, you're kind of trying to break it. So all I'm doing with the pressure is trying to slip it on and off. So I can stay nice and relaxed, and so can you. What I'm going to turn this into in a second, just to try and encourage this a little bit more, is I'm going to try and turn it a little bit more positive now. But what I could try and do now is try and show you what I do want to accept from you. And I wanted to build some confidence in you that I'm capable of guiding you around. Good. Super. So obviously you mentioned it before, like when we're worked up, we're not going to take the treats. I know he's not kicking off like he was before, but you can still hear the crying, like he's still worked up. But he just took that treat straight off me then. So he is capable of taking it, but if we try to put his head in a different place, if he's got a better mindset, he'll be more capable of taking it, okay? But what I want to do as well is I don't want to be trying to force to get a treat in there. I'm looking for a moment where I can do it, but I'm not like, so now, for example, I'm not going to do it now, am I? I'm not going to try and put a treat in there because that's reinforcing to that behaviour, and that's not what I want. But stop doing that. Yeah. So again, you feel an emotion, and that's fine. But me leaving you in that moment kicking off, it's not fair on you either. So by just a pop in the lead then, where it's not over the top, I don't need to, like I said, don't need to rag your head off to get you to try and stop doing something. But if I try and do it at the right time and to the right level, it seems to work. Like now you've calmed down a bit now. Yeah. So, but now, what I could probably do now? Good. So, as long as you're in a good mindset, now when you're in a good mindset, I can keep you occupied. I can keep your task focused on something that I might want you to do. Good. You're doing good now. So I'll be all over you. I'll be like, yeah, it's good. I love this. But look, this now when you're crying, I'm not going to encourage that. So I won't reward in that moment when you're getting worked up and you're crying, because that's what you'll think is, I want it from you, and I don't want you to think that that's okay. Come on then. Yeah, super. Good. Nice. Now obviously I'm able to be more rewarding now as well, right? I've slacked off my idea that I'm going to be really strict about you need to be right at the side of me. So you're still pulling out a little bit. I can still feel the tension and lead, but I can still give you a little pop if I need to. But what I want the pop to translate to is this. So there, when I pop that lead and you feel that sensation, come towards it, because something good at the end of it. So for me, when a dog's reactive, right, it's not my main concern. What everyone, us as people as well, we're entitled to feel certain ways towards things, and it's natural. Like I said, someone walks out of a dark alleyway, it makes us jump. We can't help ourselves feel maybe a bit anxious in that moment. So if it's natural to feel a certain way, it's fine. But what I want for a reactive dog is when you do feel uncomfortable, or you're scared of something, or you're anxious, or you're angry and you want to kick off with something, instead of actually doing it, all I want you to do is look to me for some guidance. Because at that point, I'll be able to tell you the best way out of this problem. Yeah. So what you don't do very well is you don't do that right now. You don't look towards whoever's holding the lead for the guidance. You just think, there's my problem. I've got to try and deal with it. I've got to try and push it away or whatever, or I want to go forward of it. But I just want you to look at me for the guidance. So I don't know, he might do it in a second. It takes patience from the person holding the lead to wait you out, to kind of, like I said, feel what you feel, but try and come up with a better answer. Like this, I don't mind that. Go and do that. That's rewarding. Yeah. If I don't mind being a part of a team, that's what I want to be. I want to be a team. I'm not a dictator that says to you, we've got to do da, 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 da. I'll let you have a say. If you say to me then, I'm struggling a bit, can I go over there and smell? Of course you can. Because for being a lot calmer, I'm letting you now be rewarded. The reward doesn't have to come from my hand. It could come from a treat, or I could come along and go, good. Like I could stroke you or verbally say, well done to you, free you up and let you go and do what you did then and take you to the environment. You've got to be in a certain mindset or have a certain like neutral, balanced emotion about you to go and access that environment or access my guidance. When you're doing all your kicking off, we're both struggling in that moment. Just calm yourself down and look towards me and you'll get guidance that you're after. We'll go and move off in a different direction now. Does that make sense, what I'm saying so far? Okay. So, yes. What we're going to touch on as well in today's session is marker words, okay? So right now, again, he's going to have to see my dog at some point so he can calm down. But when, again, there, fair correction, you're losing your head. I can stand there at the end of the lead like that, but by standing there at the end of the lead, your collar area is going tighter. You're just kicking off more about it because you're uncomfortable about whatever the situation. You're uncomfortable with the collar. By just standing there not doing anything about it, I'm making it worse for you. So by giving you that pop then, what did you instantly do? All right, I'll stop doing that. I'll come back and stand with you. Like, look, at this point, sorry with the noise.
If you stand still in that moment, so I'm walking along, people there, they've got the dogs.
Yeah.
And we get that reaction. So if I stop
Yep.
and bring him back to me as such, do I stand there in the moment or do I carry on forward?
So it depends on the scenario that you're in. If, let's just say this for example, right? So if you do choose to stand there.
Or is that time? Is that just about the time we stand?
Yeah, so just if we say that, if you're going to walk past someone, or they walking past you, whatever, and you decide, I'm going to stop here, and then you kick off, but what's the hard thing to do in that moment is where you kick off, you're barking or whatever you're doing, but that person, it was always going to walk past us anyway. So what a dog could think is that I felt uncomfortable, I didn't want you here, by barking has made you leave. Does that make sense? So what that becomes for a dog is self-rewarding. Yeah, it becomes in his head a good behaviour. I'm scared, but I'm going to act like a lunatic. So then they go, and then I done my job. Then I go back to, all right, yeah, I'm one, I'm the big bully around here. But that's what I mean. It becomes self-rewarding. So it depends on the scenario. What we can do in our scenario here is I can put my dog over there. You're going to bite your head off, and he ain't going to move. He's going to stay there, dead chilled. And you'll have to realise that we're not going away and we're not going forward, and he's not coming putting you under pressure. So that's where you should then, hopefully, learn how to regulate your emotion. If it was me holding the lead whilst we do that, I might give you a little bit of time to try and see if you'll stop it yourself. And if you do, then I could say, well done. I could maybe offer you a reward from me, or I could give you a reward as the environment, a sniff. But if I think you're far too stressed, you're not getting the point, you're not going to do it yourself, then I might need to intervene. Just like then, when you're getting a bit too stressed, if I pop the lead, then instantly you've just dropped back in. I'm not saying you forgot about that, because you know, you can still smell it, you know it's there, but because where your head's at now, you can think about the situation a bit better. So I was just having a look then. I thought them two people across the road might have had a dog with them. Obviously, quite a few dog walkers up and down. So that might be a good little test to see what happens if someone does walk past. What I said about us using a reward marker. So a second ago, when he was out there, and he was obviously reacting towards that direction, and he stopped doing it and he turned back and looked this way. So I used the word yes as that's what I want to use as a reward marker, but he don't know about it. So what I want that to equal though is when he was doing something he shouldn't have done, and then he stopped himself and he chose to do something different, I want to mark that good choice that he made. But if he understood that when I said, like now he doesn't understand, but if I said yes, if I said yes and my dog was stood there, he knows I'm going to give him something. So it can be a strong sort of powerful thing to have that. Me mark a behaviour that you've done right and you understand that you're going to get something for it. So that'll be something that we'll probably look at as well, that we'll try and incorporate into it, because that's important, that you are making some good decisions, but we have to come up with a way that you understand that you're going to get something for that decision. Because at the minute, like he did then, when he looked back and I said yes, but he just went straight back to look that way. He doesn't understand that he could get something in that moment. If he starts to understand that he's going to get something, he'll probably not forget, but he'll probably be a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, he probably won't want to do that behavior because, like, oh, yeah, I feel that way. Actually, instead of doing this for 2 minutes, I'll just look at it for 2 seconds. Then I thought, I could get something from this. I'll turn around, look at you, and you'll go, yeah, there you go. Or we go back to that is a powerful thing. If you can allow that to happen, like you just said, if he could correct himself, that is a powerful way to learn. And that's really what I'd want him to try to be able to do in a bit when I put my dog on there. If he can correct himself, great. I don't really have to do anything then, do I? Other than he corrects himself, I could try and offer him a reward in that moment. Whether that, like I said, if it was out in public, it could be from me or it could be away from me in terms of the environment, etc. Okay. Good, super. Right, I'll pass you the lead. Actually, let me do a few more of the reps that I was doing. When whatever happened a minute ago, it took me off track and we went on to something else. So let's go with this. So I've slacked off a little bit on what I expect from you in terms of my walking, but to help you out, what I'm going to do, there, we walk together nicely, loose lead, you're in a good position, and then I can pay you from there. Yeah. So it's not a hard thing to do, but see, you've just done if you want to call that a little piece of work, you've done some work for me, and guess what? You've done it around something you're not happy about over there. So realistically, you are capable of working under a stressful situation. You can work. It's not that you can't do it, but if I just help you get in the right place first, the right mindset, it's going to happen. Yeah? His only problem is he lets his emotion go away with him. Yeah, people do, don't they? People who maybe, someone could say this. Someone suffers with anxiety, and someone could say to that person, "Don't, don't work yourself up about it," and then you won't have the anxiety attack with you. But it's all right to say that. It's as that person who struggles with it. It's not so easy to just do that. Take that advice on board. That emotion floods in quick, and maybe they can't control that as quick as they need to. So they struggle with it. So similar to him, really, you probably that emotion finds him quickly. He probably feels flooded, and then he just I just can't regulate myself here. Cool. What we'll do is I'll pass you the lead back. We'll pass you the lead back. We'll try with a bit of walking again. Yeah. Try let's go on the inside turns, but I'll pass you the lead there a sec. If you think to yourself that when you don't have to, by the way, go the full length. You could if you set off from here now and you felt as though he pulled a bit quicker, just turn him now. Like, use your body to tell him, I'm going to change us in direction here. I don't like the fact that, what you've said before, where someone said to you, he pulls out, so stop, wait for him to return, and then you go again. But that doesn't stop the pulling. Like, pulling really shouldn't really stop us from moving anyway, but you're not going to get where you want to get by pulling. So like now, if we set off from here and you went to pull, but if I just cut you off with my body, you know, we're still moving, but you're not going to get to the direction where you wanted to go. And I don't have to fight through the lead to get you to stop doing that. So I could use my body instead to shut you down from doing that, but we're still on the move. So I could feel that you pull in. I could cut in front of you now, relax us off, maybe take a little turn around again, and now progress forward again. Don't need to go the full length. Think if you need to jump in and give him some sort of guidance, whether that is through the lead or it's through your body movement, let's just throw it in where it needs to be thrown in, not wait to a particular spot. So again, I'll just step out to the side for a second, use that space. He's on your left-hand side, the lead's on the right way now. So let's see if we can get used to using our body to turn around. And let's see if we can capture in the lead. What you'll probably feel is now we've got it on the right way, you should probably be able to feel a bit better it slip in and out. He's still obsessed about there's a dog there, isn't it? Okay, so just during this, keep moving while I say this, but just during this now, what there is, it's not often, but it does happen now and again, there is little moments where you could be rewarding. So let's see now as you come up this part. There. See, as soon as you said that then, he looked at you straight away as though, actually, I think I just done something good then. So just as much as we're moving around and obviously you're getting, you're communicating through the lead and your body, but we could definitely be trying to throw in some positive reinforcement as well. And you could maybe do that through, I know we've said obviously you could try and do it through treats, but when we're stressed about it, we're not really going to take them. But the more, what I would do, see on this part, stop there a sec. Yeah. So see this part here, right? This is like, for him, this is the most uncomfortable part here. What you could try to do to help him out a bit, right, is, so let's say we've come up this point. I want you to try this in a minute. So you've come up this point, and then you've got this turning, but then what we're doing, and I know I have said do this as well, but I said use your whole space. But when we get to this point now, it just ends up being a fight all the way across there. Yeah. So what you could potentially do is when you've done this turn here now, instead of going hugging that area, as you've come around on that turn, use your body now to just guide him off here a little bit, which gives him extra space there instead of hugging dead close to the. It is in his mind that's like the danger zone there. So walking too close to the cliff or something. So when you've done that turn, if you just said to him, mate, I can see you struggling, so should I just guide you off over here a bit? And then once we've maybe past that, we could come back onto that same track then down there. It's difficult for him because the amount of smells that there'll be here of different dogs, and obviously, yeah. So let's just go with this part. Try that now. So as you set off from here, just give yourself a bit more of a wider berth. Can we guide round there? Let's get back onto that other track down there. Great. And then let's turn from there. And then obviously down this side, you can sort of stay over to that side a bit more. And then as you get up here, when you make that turn, like I said, just give him a little bit of help. So guide him over this way now. There, that's good. Great. So keep moving. It's just by doing that little bit there, give him a little bit of extra guidance, it started to help him a little bit more, yeah? So obviously we're still giving our little tap like there. As soon as that part where he's gone to go across, that's where there's a good moment to just put your your body across in that moment to shut that behavior down. So what a lot of people do is they rely on the lead, you know, like then. So when you've gone past in them other times before I said it, we was, you know, doing a lot of trying to communicate through the lead, but just by giving you that extra bit of space that you might have needed, it's kind of it's helped us a bit. Yeah. So if you think of, yeah, so what you could do maybe is like when you've come and done a turn here, you could have, instead of going like right to that point, you could like maybe cut short here, because yeah,
to the corner to get in front of
yeah.
him.
So, but do you know what I mean? Like, let's do it again. Go flip round, come to here. Maybe do you cut, do a sharper turn. I know I said before like use the space, but it might mean this top corner to help him out a bit. Make a bit of a sharper turn, so you're already back on that side,
Yeah.
and then as you go round, you could loop back round or something. Cut him now. Now come across this way. Good. Nice. And then exactly that, what you just did then. As soon as there is a good moment, make sure we acknowledge the fact that you're doing something good. So he looks a lot better there. So again, same here. Cut him shorter there. Now cut across. Great. So because now you preempt that that part's going to happen, and you can now put something in place that stops, like it doesn't build up to that big moment happening. You can see that it would start to happen, but you're already giving them a piece of communication or guidance that says we're not going to get into that. So there, great. So you see where he's looking up at you like that? Where I said it before is the more you're going to use your body to direct him around, the more he's going to check up towards you. He's aware that you're on the other side of the lead then, rather than we have to constantly fight against it. So now cut him short, now cut him across this way. Good. Sometimes, again, for a lot of dogs, but for most dogs, they'll take a lot more guidance from the way you're going to move your body rather than they will through the lead. So do it now. Good. So just in these little moments that we've been throwing in, right, we've just tried to shape it a little bit more. Let's do it like this. Let's throw that part in. Already, by just making slight little adjustments, I'm not trying to sell you the idea that this is perfect right now, because loads more progress can be made, but it's all like this there, that's already better than it was 10 minutes ago. You feel like you are? Okay. All right, pass us the lead a sec. Come on. When it comes to using a slip lead, so obviously most like traditional slip leads are usually like this, like a piece of rope. But me, I'll show you the one that I use. It's a different type of one, which allows me to put a different type of lead. It allows me to put a different type of lead onto it, which obviously would be comfier in my hand as well. So I'll show you that once we've done this a little bit, and then good, super. We're not choosing. Yeah. So this is what you would normally see when you're out and about on a walk. So you get into this now, yeah? So just in terms of out on a normal walk, what would you try and do now in this moment? Okay. So he's obviously got insecurities towards what...
I try to intervene before I get to this stage.
Okay.
If he sees it coming out, it's bad.
Yeah.
So I walk away, then I sort of like maybe get
Alright, pass him a
closer
sec.
and let him.
When I've got him.
Try and work it out.
Yeah.
But I would walk kind of like that. can drive past a dog in the car after walk, like walking or something.
Yeah.
And I can get that all the way home. Everywhere we drive past,
Right.
we've got dogs,
Yeah.
bikes, everything all the way home.
Yeah. Obviously, he's got these insecurities towards other dogs. What he's trying to do is he's there, obviously hugging in between me now, in between my leg. What he tried at first was, I'm going to try lunging out forward to try and push you away. But obviously it wasn't working because he wasn't pushing away and I'm not obviously letting us go forward either. And then from then you thought, all right, well that's not my option. I'm not going to be able to do that. So what you've obviously tried to do is hug in closer. You're crying out for someone to save you. But you see this moment here now, if when he's kicking off and he's hugging into me, or like that, like I said again there, pushing forward, trying to push him away, he's going to start getting frustrated that it's not working for him. But at that point then, will it, whether it's in 30 seconds or it's in a few minutes, will he think, what the hell am I doing? Why am I doing this? And then he might think, well, do you know what, shall I just try something different? Because now, don't get me wrong, in this scenario we're in now, this can happen all day for me. I'm not bothered. It is stressful for you, so I wouldn't want it to happen. What's harder though in the real world is for you to stand on the street and obviously no. Yeah. So what you, like I said in the good, super good. There we go. Super.
No control whatsoever.
No. So they're doing something different. Will get you to move away. All right. But again, here we haven't got loads of space to move there. But again, now you're like, all right. Well, I'm scared again now, so I'm going to start trying to push away. I'll only become alive for you when you show me something different. What are you achieving by doing this? Like nothing. Not in this moment now. In the real world, yeah, you achieve something because they walk past and you do this and they go. So you achieved exactly what you wanted. Why you're doing it now though and you're finding it hard to stop is because of how many times you've made it work in the real world. So now you're like, I know it's going to work. It must, like, hang on, 30 seconds in, it's not worked. What about if I do it for a minute? It must work then. Then a minute don't work. So you'll just go longer and longer and longer about it. But the more, like in this setup scenario now, he could get to a point where he just goes, this is actually pointless now. He will be exhausted. Not just physically though, mentally as well. But the thing is this is a difficult environment, right? So you've got my dog there now, you've got the dogs at the back barking, you've had them across the road, you've got the cars constantly moving, the horses in the field, all the smells. This is a really overwhelming scenario, but he's not going to achieve anything by it. I could get into a fight with him. I could be popping this lead. I've not popped it once yet here now. Right now, he doesn't know, does he, what he should do instead. So the thing is, could I try and help him understand what he should do? Yeah. But could I teach it him here now? Because is this too much for him? If I had more distance to this, could I help him better? Because his mindset would be in a different place. I could probably speak to him, couldn't I? Or guide him in the lead, and I could say, should we do this? Should we do that? But here now, while he's doing this, if I pop the lead, would he just carry on? Probably. Would though, which, is it unfair if I popped it firmer to shut him up? Is that unfair to him? Do you think? Because it's unfair to him maybe because he doesn't know what he should do instead of this behaviour. So if what I said about distance, where he doesn't do this, the distance, let's just say for now, it's double this where we stood now, and at that distance back there. Yeah, but see, what I seen you touch on this inside as well, is when he was like upset a little bit, like he is now, like not barking, but when he was crying, you were down with him, stroking him and stuff. So is it, in his head, has it been encouraged? Not that you have purposefully encouraged it, but has it been encouraged without knowing it was? And that's why then, like now, he might just think, I'm just going to keep doing this until either that goes away or like me, I'm on the lead now, but will you just drop down in a minute and start saying, it's okay, don't worry about it? Because as soon as you're struggling, right? And if I now try to help you, I'd probably lower my voice a little bit. I'd change the tone of it. I'd come across a bit softer, and that physical touch would be try to reassure you and calm you down. That's what my intentions would be. That's not what you would take from it. You take from it that I'm encouraging you to do it. Does that make sense? Let's say now, just for an example, he's doing this, and I now started stroking him, go like this now. I'd be encouraging him, be like, this is fucking mint. You're telling me that this is a good thing to do, so I'm going to do it because you've told me that it's a good thing to do. Does that make sense? If he was a protection dog and he was doing that towards a guy in a sleeve over there, what would the handler do? Be stroking the dog, tapping him, go, boy, yeah. But all that change of tone and voice and me physically reinforcing the point, it'd make you want to do it more.
Do I not interact with him at all? So I mean, I could set something up similar with one of my friends. Potentially, she could set a field with her dog.
Yeah.
Just going back to safety. And I could stand there like that while he loses his shit. Do I just ignore it?
So,
do I just stand here and ignore it?
Yeah, because what's a breakthrough? What can be a breakthrough moment is he's doing this over and over and over and over again. Like I said a minute ago, he's not actually achieving anything from it. He's not gonna feel better by doing it. Where he'll feel better is when he stops doing it. So, like now, for example, you probably feel better there where you stop doing it. But when you crack on, it's really stressful. So, will you, by me just not doing anything, will you come to the conclusion yourself that what's better for me? This is fucking shit for me. But it's better when I just chill out and I just think, well, I'm not really that bothered about that because this is really stressing me out. But I'm not trying to intervene. I will only intervene when I think you've done something good. When you've done something a little bit different, like when you did a minute ago and you turned towards there and I said, come on then, if I had more space there now on our walk, we could have just walked off, couldn't we? But we're only going to do that once you do it in a calmer way. If you do it like this and I just drag you off, that's all you ever good. That's what you're going to do in future then as well. In future, you'll just go, for me to get out of this scenario, I'll kick off, you'll take me away, or they go away, and then it's resolved. But that can't be the long-term issue. That can't be the long-term plan to try and resolve it because it doesn't fix it, does it? Like, let's say now we was going on our walk, and then we see someone now go, oh, there's a person there, so I'm just going to turn down this road now instead. That doesn't achieve anything because we've just plastered over that the problem was going to be, and the next time we encounter that problem, it's still going to go the same way. We didn't actually try and work on it at all. So this is what I want him to do. Just, I don't mind. If you stop and look at them, I do not mind. If you stop and look at him, I do not mind. Like, if you want to be alert to the fact that these things are around us, that is totally fine. But do you have to do it this way? Or can you do it in a better way? Could you just stop and chill about it and just look? Because you can take in a lot more information when you just chilled. But when you're kicking off, you're not taking anything in. You're not taking in your own advice in your own head going, should I stop doing this? Or the advice that I might try and give you through the lead, or what I'd verbally say, or, you know, whatever. Like, you need to, I think it's more powerful if it comes from you. If it comes from you, I've not really had to do anything. If with a dog, if we're going to try to interrupt any of that behaviour there, what are you actually learning? Are you actually learning because you're relying on me to give you the answer to the problem? But if you figured it out for yourself, that's got to be more powerful in your own learning, hasn't it? That actually I made this happen. I don't need to solely rely on you or me holding the lead to get me out of a problem. Look, I don't mind that that's a problem for you, but if you was just calm and looked at me, and then basically what I would take that as, if you was kicking off and then you thought, actually, I don't want to do this. I'm going to look at you for guidance. And then what I would take it as is if he's trying to say to you, I'm a bit uncomfortable here. Could we please go? And then you'd say, of course we can. We'll now move out of the way. You're being fair then, aren't you? You're listening to what he's got to say, and you're acting upon that, not just him going rah, 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 rah.
He's losing his shit.
Yeah.
And then when he actually calms down, he has a sniff. And then if he looks up, then you'd walk.
Yeah, like, come on now, mate, let's go now.
Fine,
yeah. So,
just
but
trying to put it into. I mean, no dog's unique.
Yeah.
The fact that he's not reacting. Normally, that dog's going to go in.
Yeah, yeah, of course they will. Yeah.
So in the real world, like the real world scenario, I just want to know what to do to help him the best so that he can work it out.
Yeah. So, like I was saying as well about my dog used to be your dog. Yeah. And now you can see him just lay over there. You're barking your head off and he don't care. But what you're trying to do is change emotions. You're not just trying to change. I think, I'm not saying you do, but I think the way people look at it is that we're trying to change a physical behaviour. We're not. We're trying to change an emotional one. The emotion is why it starts. So without changing the emotion, the behaviour, the physical one, will always happen. But if we change the way you think or feel about these triggers, you shouldn't probably draw yourself into reacting physically either. But you see, like now, we've gone on a bit of time now, and like, I don't expect him, he might bark again in a minute. He's still a bit upset about it, which is fine. But have you now, out of all that time, have you thought about it a little bit differently and gone, not going to actually do that? So you're just observing, aren't you? Good, super, I like that. I love that part, because you can see that he was looking, there was a bit of tension in that lead, and he decided, I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to just move over there. And when he did that, the lead went slack. So there was pressure involved when he was choosing to do that behaviour. When he said, I'm just going to give that a rest for a second, everything calmed down in his head, in the lead. Yeah, like we've got a slack lead there now. But you see, what we've got here between us is distance. Yeah. So he's going to, like, even just, in himself, in his own body, he'd be relaxing himself. But from what I've said here, and my approach to it was, have I actually done anything to get him just to this moment now? Again, I'm not trying to say he's fixed or it's perfect, but it's better than it was. He's not barking. I can hear myself thinking now, he's not getting as stressed about, like there, he knows them dogs around that corner. He's still looking at them, but he's like, is it okay? And again, he's not kicking off about it. He's doing roughly his own thing now. But like you said, it does help that my dogs just lay over there, not batting an eyelid. It makes it easier. But the thing is that's also good for learning to take place. Because in the real world, imagine I said to you, now let's go meet at the park, and then we walk past, you kick off with this dog, that dog kicks off with you. What's going to happen? We're not going to learn nothing, are we? Yeah.
So it was like 90 minutes of hell with
Yeah.
him. I thought, I didn't feel it was fair on him.
No, it's not though, and it's not for, like, as a team, you and him, or obviously if your husband goes for the walk as well. Like, it's not fair. We stressed on the walk, we come back, it's been stressful, so we stressed at home, and then maybe it causes arguments between couples about the dog, and it's just not enjoyable. But to get you to do what you're doing now, I'll just take this as a little win. I don't expect. No, I've always made sure I got one hand on. So I'm always, I like to give the dog an opportunity, and whether that opportunity, it takes 2 minutes, or if it took 20, I'm gonna let it try to happen, because yeah, but you're still uncomfortable, because what really in the real world, what could happen now, right, is doing something totally different in it. Now we could just go, couldn't we? Now we could just carry on our walk, but because we're still stood around, there's still a big problem in front of him. He's like, I'll do maybe deal with it. How can I get you to move away with me? So, like in the real world, give me something different, we'll make different choices, we'll now move. But by just going, I'm just going to kick off and be angry at the world, well, that's not going to get you nowhere. Looking for you to calm down from that, and then just go and choose something different. Like I said, at the minute, it's not really coming from my pocket, because you won't accept that right now. But let's just take it as you're going to go and sniff that. Or if you're calm enough, I will actually come along and stroke you. But it needs to be in the right moment, because in the wrong moment will encourage more of that behaviour. Does that make sense? So like now, crying, whining, yeah, as a human response, we're going to come down and go, it's all right, don't worry about it. But that's doing no favours to you, because you think now, oh, actually, she wants me to do this. She likes when I feel this way or I act out like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it again next time, where obviously I know it's hard work, and in here it doesn't have to be difficult. Like you're doing all this kicking off. I'm not worked up. I don't need to get stressed about it. I'm dead chilled, relaxed. Really, what I want you to do is I want you to look towards me as a role model. If you see me nice and relaxed and chilled and not losing my head, I'm not saying you lose your head on walks and stuff, but if you look towards me for guidance and you see me relaxed and chilled, you might start copying me, might you? And what helps with this scenario now, with my dog just over there chilling, is will you look at him as a role model? We see what he's doing and go, he's that chilled him, innit? Maybe I should try doing that. So dogs can copy off each other like that as well. If you was barking,
It's come from the house for dogs.
yeah. If you was,
I kind of don't understand the behaviour with it.
if you was barking and he was barking back, then you'd be well in your right mind to be barking at him in the first place. And it obviously ends up a vicious circle. Most of the dogs that you see when you're out and about, you'll bark and they'll definitely be barking back at you, and you're not liking it, so you're going to have an argument about it. But obviously, like you said, come from the other house with the other dogs, and you don't know obviously the previous situation. Like, was there?
She didn't walk it.
Yeah.
She sort of said that.
Yeah.
She handed it over and said that she's while we're walking on the counter. She's got 3 dogs like that. I don't think where she's
No.
walking.
But again, the thing is, good lad, super.
My sort of assumption on it all is when he comes out, he's overwhelmed with everything, because everything, you know, like I look at Ben and it's like, everything is just
But then again, maybe there are always new experiences out there. There are always new experiences,
so
maybe.
If that was the reason, rather than that he's been attacked or...
Yeah, but you know, he might have had issues with the other dogs that he lived with.
Could have done,
And maybe, like, if she give him away and kept the others, why was he the problem, or did they really not like him and invite whichever? So maybe, you know, he did have a problem and they had a problem with him and whatever else, and that's obviously led him to the idea that probably every other dog's going to be like this. Where like now you've probably not encountered an environment where a dog is as chilled as that. But
probably never.
No, you probably never have. But now that you have, it seems you've changed. Not that you've totally, but you have changed your tune a little bit. You're not as bad about it. What I'm not ready to do here right now, because I know this will throw you over the edge. If I start walking down there now, you will end up pulling, and I will need to correct you. So, but that would be unfair, because even if it's only a small bit, I've made a little bit of progress, and that's what I can ask for. A little bit. If I got a little bit better every day, I'd eventually be really good. So I can only expect that from you. There's not going to be something that I can click my fingers and it just, boom, it's fixed.
Yeah.
Well, there is, like I said, inside. There could be options, but they're not my options. I know they might be for some people that will just try to get rid of this problem straight away by doing something, and that would probably be something quite harsh. I just think that's lazy, and like I said, you chase problems around, pop that one down, another one pops up, pop that down, and you're just chasing problems. So he was all right. He was just looking like he wasn't really a big deal. But what I spoke about inside about the time, the longer that time goes on for, that's when he's going to start struggling again. But think in the real world, if you would have stopped at whatever distance that might be for him, if you stop at that distance, you observe the world and he's nice and chilled. Once 10 seconds has passed by, 20 seconds passed by, you're going to, come on mate, let's now go. We don't have to stand here for 5-10 minutes, do we? No, we don't have to. We can just see it for a couple, 10 seconds, 20 seconds more, and just crack on. Like, it's not a big deal, but maybe we're intervening then before it leads to the whining and then the barking comes out and etc. So by having that distance from us and the triggers, we'll be able to put him in a different mindset where he can look, observe, take it in, and then take the guidance from us as well, rather than being too close, lose his head. So yeah, judge that on, you know, if you stop for, right, we're going to observe that dog over there, and he's just looking, it's 10 seconds have passed by. Well, do you need to turn that 10 seconds into 3 minutes?
No.
You could just you could just go, if he's calm, you could just move him off now, couldn't you?
Yeah.
But I don't want him to go, I'm kicking off, and then we now pull him out of the way.
Right.
But the only part where I'm only going to try and get my points across to you when you're doing what I want you to do. I don't want to really, if I feel like I'm failing, if you want, and I just can't get to a point where I find that you're calm, I have to question that. Am I at the right distance for you? Because you clearly are not doing very well when we're this far away. But if I was to go out a little bit more, potentially, you give me a different option. Once you find, like, look, this is pretty close here now.
He's not actually looking at him.
No, but we're still pretty close there. And yeah, it's took up however amount of time that it's took, but he's actually been able to find a few good answers.
Yeah.
So he is capable of being able to do it, but he's just having, like, from our point of view, having the patience to actually go through it. It's hard work, yeah. If I'm stood there, I don't, doing it in here, it's not a problem. People pass by all the time and they probably see, oh yeah, dog barking, and these neighbours probably know dogs barking. But in the real world, I stood at the park and we're just kicking off. Like, people maybe look a bit more, don't they? And maybe be a bit more judgy or whatever. Like, but they don't know, do they? They don't know what we have to deal with, or like what you're going through or whatever. So
I find myself constantly going, is a rescue really on him?
Yeah. What we have to question ourselves then is the routes that we go on or the environment that we go to. Is it best suited right now for you? Because you need to see things differently than what you're already used to. If I'm walking down the street with you and I encounter other dog walkers and all you're doing is reacting, again, I've not changed anything about it. You're still going to be reacting. I'm still in a vicious circle then. So to make a difference, I've got to do something different. When I first got him and he was reactive towards everyone, I didn't just take him for road walks because I'm struggling. I'm going to go and work on the problems that I've got. I'm not just going to try and walk you because I'm not really going to achieve loads by doing that. For you to change your emotion, what you feel when you see another dog, I obviously need to be around dogs, but I need it to be in a controlled way. Obviously, this is controlled here, but you could control what we just said at the park. If you stood in the middle and there's a dog walker over there, because most of them dogs there are on leads as well. So it's a good place to do it. If you stand in the middle, I can control the whole situation. I can control how far we are, how close we get. If I see them moving towards us, I can move out a little bit just to keep our distance. You'll probably have such a better experience around them dogs doing that than you would worrying walking down the street going, I'm going to bump into a dog. That you're going to struggle. And again, for both of you. So maybe you do it, he does it, where you walk down the street going, like constantly looking around, is there something going to turn out that corner? It puts us on edge a little bit. So if it puts us on edge, it's going to put the dog on edge as well. In that one where I said about being on the field, we've got space, we can clearly see, we don't need to really get worried and panic about it. Nothing's should really surprise us. If we see someone have come on now and they've let their dog off, well, then I'm obviously going to really double my distance out, not because you might be okay, but I just don't want to be too close for that dog, because if that runs over then, and they ain't got the recall or whatever, then I'm stuck in a problem here now. So that's what I would just do. I would just try for now to get the more outings that we go on. It's about exposing you. Limit your exposure in a controlled way, so I can change the way you think about things, because then you'll probably find that the physical things you do, they're quite easy to manage. So before, when we were trying to walk around, why was it quite difficult in terms of we're having to go pop, 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 pop? It's quite difficult because of, there's a dog right here right now. So, walking down the street, do we achieve anything? Because you're on high alert going, I know there's a dog going to turn around this corner in a minute, or when we walk past that garden, the dog's normally in the garden barking or whatever it is. So you're always on high alert waiting for it, which becomes a bit more pulley on the lead, making it harder for us to manage. But you won't become pulley on the lead if I'm stood in the middle of the field and there's the things all around us, like you are now. You've been stood like this now for a good while. Have you realised that we're not going to do anything else? All we're going to do is learn how to feel and learn how to be in this moment now. And we're not, like I said, we're not running away. we're not letting that come here. You're not going towards it. We're just going to learn how we need to be in this moment. Because what you've done now to be able to go from all your barking to this now, you've learned how to regulate your own emotion. I've not done anything, or you've not done anything to get this quiet now. If he wants to go and sniff things, let him sniff things. If he's trying to trick us a little bit, going, let's push down there, well, obviously I'm not going to fall for that. But if he just wants to have a smell of something, come and do it over here, mate. Don't go and try and push over there. Like I said, he might, say with the previous owners, why this can happen sometimes is because you might have been absolutely buzzing your head off with them other dogs, like bit too pushy maybe in play and stuff like that, but you might have just been too much and you absolutely loved other dogs, right? But then because you've never been able to have access to them, because the way you look is, I can't really let you do it, does that frustrate you? Does it frustrate you that you can't actually access what you want to access? Because you see what you said, obviously, like the woman didn't really walk with him and stuff. Was his world other dogs? His world might have, my dog, his world is me. Yeah. It's not other dogs, it's me. He's obsessed with me.
Potentially, I think it was definitely Mum was the Jack Russell.
Yeah.
And there was him and there was another pup. Then when I went back,
good, super. Yeah.
They
good
said
lad.
That they got rid of Dad and him.
Right. Maybe them two had a problem with each other.
No. People say they don't want to look bad, do they?
No, but again, like what I was saying there is.
So it could be. I mean, if he's always looking to Mum.
Yeah.
For the reassurance.
Yeah.
And that's all he knows, then maybe.
Yeah, maybe dogs are my world, and when I see one, I want to access it, but I can't because I don't. I know I look a bit like a lunatic. I can't really. I don't get the chance to do it. I'm not saying that is the thing, but I'm just saying if your world is dogs, that's why it can turn into that where it looks maybe it can look intense, aggressive, or whatever, because you're that frustrated by the fact that you just want it and you're not being allowed to have it. Like same with this lead really now. He's like, this lead's doing me head in. I just want to do my own thing. Or I want to get on the move. Obviously, we stood around for a good while now and spoke, and we've not really expected him to do anything. But by doing this, like I said, just learning how to just regulate yourself, that's not a good choice to do that. And obviously by the end of that, you're going to meet what was that? So don't do it again. It's simple. And again, you've just done something I don't really like. I've dealt with it now. I've told you I don't want you to do that. I'm not saying you won't do it again in a minute, but I'll deal with it the same way. And I don't need to let my own emotions get drawn into that. I want to always stay as nice and relaxed as possible. If you was acting a lunatic and then I started to act a bit of a lunatic and start shouting at you, I'm not saying you do, but some people might, or trying to get a bit more forceful on the lead or something, am I saying it's acceptable to be like this? Because if you're doing it and I'm doing it back to you, I'm kind of saying, it's not one rule for one for another. If I'm saying we both can do this, we're always going to do it, aren't we? But if you're going to be a lunatic, I won't. I'll just be chilled because I want you to be chilled as well. Yeah.